Here is the exact text you provided. Suggestions and recommendations. 1. Provincial governments must encourage their respective probation and reclamation departments and focus on creating awareness among stakeholders regarding the probation system and also about probation as an effective alternative to the detention and incarceration of offenders, including child and women offenders. 2. Efforts should also be made to bridge the gap between the judiciary, police, and the probation department. 3. The provincial and federal judicial academies should play an active role in creating widespread understanding about the utilization of the probation system. 4. The provincial governments should make a comparative analysis of the budgetary allocation for probation and prisons departments and their outcomes and increase budgetary allocations. 5. Regular trainings for R&P personnel. It is recommended that chapters on the probation and parole system should be added to the training curriculum of Judicial Academy, police, and to update the syllabus of the National Academy for Prisons. 6. The R&P directorates should make monthly visits of parole officers compulsory on part of the R&P senior management. It also puts an obligation on prison management to make the best use of parole services in order to reduce overcrowding in prisons. 7. Implementation of the Juvenile Justice System Act, 2018, needs to be improved. Special juvenile courts and panels of lawyers for free legal aid must be constituted and made functional. 8. Alternate dispute resolution, ADR, has strong roots in Pakistani society in the form of jirga, panchayat. The Reconciliation Committee will be very effective in victim-offender mediation if linked with diversion projects in the best interest of the offender and victim. Number 9. Releases of prisoners on parole are comparatively lower than releases of offenders on probation. Obvious reasons include the low number and less exposure of parole staff to prison settings. The R&P directorates should make monthly visits of parole officers compulsory in their respective yearly activity planner, supported by regular supervision meetings on the part of the R&P senior management. It also puts an obligation on prison management to make the best use of parole services in order to reduce overcrowding in prisons. 10. Pilot projects on probation through public-private partnerships should be developed in specialized sectors. For example, juveniles in conflict with the law, substance misusers, and women in prisons. For instance, by designing a diversion project for first-time juvenile offenders, integrating police, probation, district judiciary, Prison, Child Protection Commission, Musalihat Anjumans, alternate dispute resolution committees, Human Rights Directorate, Social Welfare Department, and other skill training institutes in the best interest of the offender and victim. 11. Similarly, pilot projects can be started for drug-dependent persons to be diverted into drug treatment and rehabilitation facilities under the supervision of a probation officer. Women prisoners with minor children also require special attention, and such non-custodial probation-led projects would provide women offenders equal opportunities to better reintegrate into the community, not only for their own self, but also for their children and loved ones. 12. In the government hierarchical service structure, probation and parole officers stand as a universal constant, hired and retired in the same grade most of the time. The R&P department, unlike other government departments, lacks proper service structure, which manifests itself in the form of demotivated staff, always looking for other job opportunities with good service structure, resulting in the loss of skilled manpower. 13. Among the government departments, the R&P department remains a low priority area when allocating financial resources. 14. Data collection and data management is another area that needs to be a focus for effective service delivery and research purposes. Development of an extensive database system will also help the key criminal justice partners in sharing valuable information about offenders to ensure public safety and reduce recidivism. Conclusion. It is encouraging that releases on probation have increased in recent years, particularly in cases of child offenders. However, practice shows in most cases, release orders are issued in cases where the state is the party, e.g., narcotics offenses. Cases in which a private party is a victim, the courts exercise considerable restraint to the extent that even in appropriate cases, the courts do not pass orders for release on probation due to the apprehension that the victim may take the law into their own hands and resort to revenge outside the court. The overriding influences of special laws, like the anti-terrorism, here is the exact text you provided. Suggestions and recommendations. 1. Provincial governments must encourage their respective probation and reclamation departments and focus on creating awareness among stakeholders regarding the probation system and also about probation as an effective alternative to the conclusion. While it is encouraging that releases on probation have increased in recent years, particularly for child offenders, there remain significant challenges in the system. In many cases, courts are hesitant to issue release orders, especially where private parties are victims, due to fears of retaliation outside the legal framework. Special laws, such as the Anti-Terrorism Act, further restrict the use of non-custodial sentencing. To maximize the potential of probation and parole as effective tools for rehabilitation and reducing prison overcrowding, systemic reforms, better coordination among stakeholders, and increased awareness are essential.